Hi, Zach's class. Zach and I have a little project we'd like you to start working on for the week after spring break, where we're going to talk about MMOs and virtual worlds. So not next week, but the following week. This project is going to have you playing in one or more MMO or virtual world, so you can have a little practical experience for the stuff that we're going to talk about in class. So today we'll tell you a little bit about the assignment and then get you started working with the rest of your classmates. So first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Jeff Holmes. I'm a PhD student here at ASU in the English department in rhetoric and composition. I study video games primarily, and especially MMOs and virtual worlds like the ones we're going to have you check out. And that's why Zach's asked me to come talk to you guys in a couple of weeks. But I wanted to get you started on this project now so we can have something really concrete to kind of talk about. I like lots of big words that end in ology, like phenomenology and ludology and morphology and all kinds of stuff like that. And if you have any questions or want to get a hold of me, I'm available on Gmail and on the Twitters. You can ask me questions or advice or find times when I'm in these worlds and play together or anything like that. So I'm also a level 50 Vice Admiral named Joe Mama. I'm a level 85 Prot Pally named Ofer. I'm also a some level something space guy named Steve. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're asking you to do. So you're on a quest. You're on a mission here to play one or more of the MMOs that we're going to make available. Either World of Warcraft, Star Trek Online, or Little Space Heroes. And I'll tell you a little bit more about each of those. But the most important thing to know is that these are free to play. It doesn't cost you anything, so that's why one of the reasons why we chose these. World of Warcraft is free to play up to level 20. Star Trek is completely free, and Little Space Heroes is a free browser base, so you don't even have to install anything. There's more information on the sheet that Zach will hand out for you. Importantly, we want you to play with your classmates, because while it's fun to sort of run around in these worlds by yourself, it's even more fun when there's lots of you together. So you'll form, when you choose whichever MMO you want to play. Today, we'll give you a little bit of time to talk to the other people who are going to be playing that and coordinate and see if there are times that you can get together in-game and play with your classmates and stuff. It may not work, and that may be part of the experiment that we're running here, but try really hard to find times that you can play together. Because playing with other people, especially new people in that space, learners, is a great experience and a way to make it a little easier and more fun and everything. So I'll tell you a little bit about the games themselves. World of Warcraft, this is the big one. This is the juggernaut. Huge player base, more than 10 million. It's over 12 million, but it's dipped a little. Star Trek or Star Wars took a little bit of that. But huge, massive place. This is full of people, always pretty lively place. Tons of resources available on the web, wikis, blogs, podcasts, sites dedicated to machinima, fan sites, all kinds of stuff like that. Tons of resources, tons of stuff to look of that extend outside of the game. And importantly, World of Warcraft is not the most graphically intensive game, so if you have sort of a mid-level computer, you'll be fine. It was released originally in 2004, so it still runs on computers from 2004. So an excellent game. If you've never played an MMO, this is the one I highly recommend because this is the big one. This is one everyone talks about. So Star Trek Online is a new free-to-play. It used to be a subscription model, but now it's free-to-play. It's a ton of fun, lots of really passionate fans. Interesting because of the history of Star Trek. There are people who get really crazy about all the minutiae in the game. So anyone who's interested in looking at some issues of intertextuality, how this game correlates to the universe created in the canon of Star Trek and all sorts of stuff like that. It's also a really, really fun game. I've had a great time playing it, and it has slightly higher requirements on your computer than World of Warcraft, but still you can run it on mid-level computers with the graphics turned down a little bit. Tons of fun and a little steeper learning curve for it. But if you like space battles, this is the one for you. And the third MMO that we're going to offer is something a little different. This is called Little Space Heroes. It's designed primarily for kids age 6 to 12, as well as parents and educators. It's family friendly. It's designed basically to be a sort of a safe space for kids to explore, maybe alongside or by themselves, games and MMO kind of environments, but pretty locked down. You know, there's really strict chat filters and moderators available, you know, one button away and everything like that. Very interesting sort of space. It's also browser based, which means you don't have to install any programs. So if you don't feel like installing a program on your computer, Little Space Heroes is kind of an interesting game, and terribly cute too. Because it's browser based, it has very low computer requirements. I think you just need to have Flash installed. So, you know, computers on campus, your home computer should be able to play it, no problem. So we're going to ask you to choose today which one of these games you want to play. Importantly, if you've ever played one of these games, we want you to pick something else. So if you've played WoW, pick one of the other two. We want you to experience something new, some new kind of space, maybe a new genre, to get some experience beyond sort of what you're comfortable with. So after you pick your game, today we're going to give you just a little bit of time to meet up with your fellow classmates who are also going to play that MMO. Try to figure out times where you can play together. Again, it's much more fun when you have someone to kind of screw up next to and share sort of that experience together. It may not work, and again, that may be something that you want to talk about when we come to class. So you're going to meet with your group today, figure out times that you can sort of play together, then go explore the world, go play. I highly recommend getting jumps on it as soon as you can. Install this stuff, start learning it. The learning curve is a little steep when you have to figure out how to communicate and how to run and move and stuff. WoW has a great tutorial built in. Star Trek Online, less so, but it's still doable. And Little Space Heroes is relatively simple as well. But really highly recommend getting a jump on it and figuring that sort of stuff out. Plus, it'll give you more opportunities to play together and everything. Then, on the week when we come back from spring break, so March 27th, that Tuesday, we're going to ask you to give just a brief little report with your group, just a sort of a 10-minute casual mini presentation about sort of your experience. What was your play like? What kind of things did you see that emerged from your play? What kind of affordances are there in the spaces? What kind of sort of limitations are there? What are some of the things that you think people can and should do in MMOs? What was your sort of overall feel for what it is? We just want to sort of get a conversation going about what you think MMOs are all about. So a couple of pieces of I'll also be offering a boot camp. Details are available on that sheet that Zach will hand out. In case you just don't have the time to install or play these games, I'm offering a couple of opportunities to just come to campus, and I'll run through a couple of these games. I'll load them up on a computer and put them up on a screen and just talk through some of these, so you at least have a sense of what these games are kind of all about. So details on boot camp are on the sheet that Zach is handing out. Finally, just a couple pieces of advice. Start early, like I said, get a jump on this, because having to install a couple programs and patch and stuff can take a little while, so the sooner the better. Also, the sooner you talk to your group and start trying to figure stuff out, the better. Play often, play as much as you can, your friends, family, school will allow. Playing is fun, so have fun. And with that, Zach will answer any questions, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in-game over the next couple of weeks and in person in 2 weeks. Thanks.